Ms. Chavez-DeReamer, when we met, you expressed your strong support for registered apprenticeships. So I want to dig a little bit deeper on that last question you were asked. That was reassuring to hear, particularly in light of the first Trump administration's effort to fund non-registered apprenticeships, or IRAPs, as they're called. You also said that you had not yet had an opportunity to talk with the president about policy at the time we met. Have you had the opportunity to talk with the president about your about registered apprenticeships? And if so, has that changed your position?
No, thank you, Senator, on that issue. It is so important on the registered apprenticeships and really investing and even doubling down on that. I know in the first administration, and I haven't talked to the president on the first administration's policies compared to now on apprenticeship from the last administration, but I think there's a lot to learn from what happened in the first administration and the successes and not successes. But right now we're focused on the registered apprenticeships, growing those, investing in those, and making sure that those are adhered to.
Thank you. I want to also dig a little bit deeper on appropriated funds. The Labor, Health, and Human Services Appropriations Bill includes dedicated funding for apprenticeship programs and specifies that the funding is only available for registered apprenticeships. So I ask this in the context of actions this administration has already taken, including a government-wide funding freeze that has now been halted by the court. As ranking member of the Labor, Health, and Human Services Appropriations Subcommittee, I have a particular interest in the department implementing our bill as Congress intends. That is why I was so alarmed to see the National Institutes of Health flaunt the law last week when it proposed a policy that directly conflicts with longstanding appropriations language in the Labor HHS bill. The Labor HHS bill says that you can't do it, and NIH said it was doing it anyways. My question to you is, will you follow the law that says funding for apprenticeship programs can only be used for registered apprenticeships, yes or no?
Yes.
More broadly, do you commit to spending funding as Congress appropriates it?
Yeah, again, as I mentioned earlier, it was asked, as a former member of Congress, I highly respect the appropriations process and the role of Congress.
Thank you.
Yes.
The nation's nurses face challenging working conditions, and they are too frequently exacerbated by instances of workplace violence. We talked about that in my office. I appreciated that you said that you really take that issue seriously. Right now, the Department of Labor plans to issue a notice of proposed rulemaking in June of this year for the workplace violence in healthcare rulemaking. Do you commit to getting this proposed rule issued by June of this year and finalized in a very timely way?
Well, I can commit to working with you on the issue because it is an important one. And if confirmed, I will look at every rule as it moves forward. But until then, I haven't even seen specifically on the rule. But I commit to working with you and taking a look at it.
Close conversation on that.
Yes.
We've been waiting a long time. It's past due. Your opening statement mentioned putting workers first. You've repeated that a number of times. So I hope to have your commitment to aggressively pursue enforcement against employers that deny workers the wages they've earned or fail to provide safe working conditions. The Department of Labor plays a critical role in protecting workers' rights, including ensuring workers get the back pay they are owed and investigations into allegations of child labor law violations. If confirmed, I look forward to working with you to make sure that the department has the resources to do this important work. Can you commit to me that this important work will continue under the Department of Labor, at the Department of Labor under your leadership, yes or no?
Yes.
Can you confirm that information under the Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division on their website will remain up to date, publicly accessible, and comprehensive like it is today? Yes or no?
Again, I have not been at the Department of Labor. I have not, but I look forward to working with the agency heads and making sure that people have the information that they need.
All right, one last question. The Women in Apprenticeship and Non-Traditional Occupations Grant
Senator
Program.
Baldwin, time's expired.
All right, I will submit that for.
Thank you, Senator.